Congratulations if this message has reached you before the 9th of November, because you are standing at the edge of divine change. You are not here by accident. You are not reading or hearing these words by chance. God has aligned the moments of your life, the thoughts in your mind and the timing of your day, so that this message would find you at the exact moment He intended. It is not a coincidence. It is divine orchestration. When God wants to speak to you, He does not need an announcement. He moves through the ordinary and transforms it into revelation. This message is a confirmation that something great is about to unfold in your life. Something hidden is about to be revealed. Something delayed is about to be released. Something broken is about to be restored. Before the 9th of November, God is calling you into awareness, spiritual awareness, emotional awareness, and divine awareness. There are times when God's voice whispers through unusual signs. And this message is one of those signs. If it reached you before that day, it means your name is being mentioned in places where your feet have not yet walked. It means your prayers have already been registered in the court of heaven. It means that while all others sleep, God has been working behind the scenes to align events that will shift your destiny. You are about to witness a divine rearrangement. Do not underestimate this moment. Do not take it lightly. God has marked your time. For too long, you have been wondering and your season will change. You have been faithful in silence, patient in pain, consistent in waiting. You have endured disappointments that others did not see, battles that no one understood, and prayers that only God heard. But when the timing of God meets your endurance, miracles break forth. The 9th of November is not just a date. It is a prophetic symbol of completion, a closing of an old chapter, and the rising of a new dawn. When God moves, He moves in His timing, not yours. And this is the sign that your timing has met His. If you are receiving this before that day, it means God is preparing you to cross over into a higher dimension of favor. The tests you endured were never meant to destroy you. They were meant to purify you. Every disappointment was a tool in God's hand. Every delay was divine preparation. You thought you were losing time, but you were being seasoned. You thought you were falling behind, but God was teaching you how to walk at His pace, not the world's. The world runs fast, but God moves with purpose. You were never behind, you were hidden. And when God hides you, it is because He is preparing to reveal you in His glory. Before the 9th of November, you must understand that God is not finished with you. There are things about to happen that you cannot yet see. The people who left you a part of the plan. The opportunities that slipped through your fingers were never meant to stay. You have cried enough tears to water your own garden of destiny. Now, the harvest is near. When the hand of God moves, it does not need permission from anyone. He does not consult your past to determine your future. He is not limited by your qualifications or hindered by your weaknesses. When He decides to favor you, everything in creation begins to align in your favor. Congratulations. Because if this message reached you before that divine date, it means the heavens are about to remember you. God remembers those who have not been remembered by men. He sees the quiet ones who labor in faith without applause. He sees the ones who give when no one is watching, who fall tardive when others would seek revenge, who pray when others complain. God is about to reward your quiet obedience. The storms that came against you were not sent to destroy you. They were allowed to refine you. The pain you felt was proof of the calling you carry. The weight of your trials was a sign of the greatness God placed upon your life. You cannot carry a light assignment with a heavy anointing. God strengthens those He intends to elevate. Many people will ignore this message, But if your spirit feels a stirring as you hear these words, it means the message is for you. The world may say, it as a coincidence. But God is whispering to your soul, I have chosen you. He is saying, I have not forgotten you. He is saying, this message is your confirmation. Before the 9th of November, God will begin to show you signs of alignment. You will start to see unusual patterns, divine coincidence, antidarness, unexpected favor, and quiet answers to old prayers. The peace that once felt far away will begin to return to your heart. Doors that were locked will begin to open, not because of your strength, but because of God's mercy. This is your moment of awakening. God has seen your weariness, your confus and parlion, and your exhaustion. But now He says, rise. You cannot stay where you are. You cannot let fear chain you to the past. You cannot keep replaying what went wrong when God is preparing what will go right. The enemy wants you to believe that your story has ended, but God is still writing it. The detente and darkness you walked through was not your destination. It was your preparation. You were walking through the valley, not living in it. Every valley ends when faith rises. The reason you are hearing this message now is because God wants to awaken something inside of you. He wants to remind you that He has not changed His mind about you. You are still destined. You are still chosen. You are still marked for greatness. It does not matter how many mistakes you have made, how far you have drifted, or how tired you have become. When God calls you, He also restores you. When He selects you, He equips you. You may feel unworthy, but worthiness was never a requirement for destiny. Obedience was. Before the 9th of November, begin to prepare your spirit for a shift. Do not look at the date with ordinary eyes. See it as a spiritual checkpoint. It is a line between what was and what will be. Many people under the earth wait for signs from heaven. But the greatest sign is that you are hearing this message now. It means God has already begun something in the unseen realm. You may not feel it, but spiritual activity is surrounding your life. Angels are being dispatched. Paths are being cleared. Blockages are being removed. People who once ignored you will be drawn to you. Not because of charm or talent, but because God's hand will be upon you. Do not allow doubt to creep in. Doubt is the language of delay. Faith is the language of acceleration. If you can believe, you will receive. If you can trust, you will see. God does not need much. He needs only your belief. He said to trust even when you do not understand. He said to keep walking even when the path is dark. When you walk with faith, light appears one step at a time. The problem with many people is that they want to see the entire road before they start walking. But God gives light for the next step, not the next mile. You must trust His pace. You must trust His silence. Silence is not absence. When God is quiet, it means He is working. There are many of you who have prayed for a breakthrough for years. You have felt forgotten. You have wondered and read if God still hears you. But let this message be the answer to that question. Yes, He hears you. Yes, He remembers you. Yes, He is about to act. The time between your prayer and His answer is never wasted. It is where your faith is built. You are not waiting in vain. You are being strengthened. The waiting has shaped your spirit to carry the blessing. If God had given it earlier, you would not have been ready. But now you are ready. The 9th of November will not pass without divine movement. God is setting the stage for your manifestation. He has allowed certain people to exit your life because they cannot walk with you where you are going. He has removed certain opportunities because they would have distracted you from His plan. He has closed certain doors because they were traps in disguise. Every no was protection. Every delay was direction. Every silence was strategy. You may not have understood it then, but soon you will look back and thank God for not giving you what you thought you wanted. Congratulations. Because if you are hearing this, it means your faith is about to be rewarded. God is about to restore your joy, renew your strength, and reintroduce you to the world in His timing. People who overlooked you will wonder how you rose so suddenly. But you will know it was not sudden, it was spiritual. The time you spent hidden was divine incubation. Every seed grows underground before it breaks through the soil. You were not buried, you were planted. Now the season of breaking forth has arrived. You will soon understand why certain losses had to happen, why certain relationships had to end, and why certain seasons felt endless. God was pruning you so that you could bear greater fruit. The pain was the price of preparation. The tears shed were not wasted. Tibarbare watered your purpose, and now the soil of your life is fertile with divine potential. Before the 9th of November, prepare your heart for surprises from heaven. Do not be afraid when things begin to shift quickly. When God moves, He accelerates what once moved slowly. You will not need to chase what is meant for you. It will find you. You will not need to fight for what God has promised. It will rest upon you. If you are still listening, then understand this. You are standing at the edge of your turning point. The old is passing away. The heaviness is lifting. The confusion is clearing. The pain is transforming into power. God is calling you to step into the unknown with faith. Let go of the things that no longer serve your spirit. Release bitterness. Release regret. Release fear. These are the weights that slow down destiny. You cannot fly if you are chained to yesterday. Trust that Giamborde knows what He is doing. The same God who guided you through the wilderness will guide you into the promise. Before that divine date, begin to speak differently, think differently, and act differently. Expect miracles, walk with confidence, pray with authority, speak with gratitude. When you wake up, declare that something good is unfolding. When you feel tired, remind yourself that God never sleeps. When you feel alone, know that God is closer than your breath. Every second that passes before the 9th of November is sacred. Heaven is counting down with you. Every prayer you whisper is echoing a DRG in eternity. Every act of faith is drawing divine power toward your life. This is not the time to give up. It is not the time to question your worth. It is not the time to compare your journey with others. Your path is sacred. Your timeline is divine. When God writes your story, no one can edit it. Pardon. What belongs to you cannot be stolen. What is assigned to your name cannot be reassigned. You have survived too much to quit now. You are too close to destiny to doubt now. The best chapters of your life are yet to unfold. And this message is the divine reminder that your story is far from over. Congratulations. You are chosen to witness what others only dreamed of. You will see the goodness of God in your life. You will experience His protection, His provision, His presence. The very same hand that lifted you in the past will lift you again. The same voice that called you out of Darbarnkenes will call you into peace. The same power that sustained you through storms will now open the skies of blessing over your life. This message is not random, it is divine timing. If it has reached you before the 9th of November, then you have stepped into your appointed season. If this message for Parles reached you before the 9th of November, then understand this clearly. You have been chosen by divine timing, not human coincidence. God does not send messages without purpose, and He does not allow His signs to reach hearts that are not ready. The very fact that you are hearing this right now means, your spirit has been prepared refined, and made sensitive enough to perceive divine instruction. There are billions of souls on this earth, yet this word has been directed to you. That is not random, that is revelation. God has decided that your eyes should see and your ears should hear before the appointed time, because He is setting you apart for something that requires awareness before others awaken. God does not reveal His plans to everyone. He reveals them to those who are alert in spirit, those who are not distracted by noise, those who have learned to listen in silence. If this message reached you before the 9th of November, it means you are being called into that inner circle of divine communication. God is whispering instructions that others will only understand later. He is showing you what is coming before it manifests. When God prepares to bless you, He first awakens your discernment. You begin to feel a stirring in your heart, a pull in your spirit, a quiet conviction that something is shifting. That stirring you feel right now, it is the movement of God within you. It is His way of saying, get ready. The time is near. God has not forgotten the tears you cried, and no one understood your pain. He has not ignored the nights when you spoke to Him in silence, when your words failed, but your heart still reached upward. Every sigh, every tear, every prayer has been collected. They are stored in the chambers of divine memory, waiting for the moment of release, or the 9th of November. God is reminding you that He has not been still. He has been watching, aligning, orchestrating. He does not work according to your calendar. But when your calendar and His will align, change happens suddenly. What took years to build can transform in moments when God decides that your appointed hour has come. There are seasons when God hides His hand, not because He is absent, but because He is constructing something unseen. You may have thought He was silent, but He was laying foundations too deep for your eyes to perceive. He was preparing connections, stirring hearts, a DBRSN building opportunities that would align perfectly with your destiny. And now He says, look again. Look at the same situation that once looked hopeless. You will begin to see light. Look at the people who once walked away. You will see new faces stepping in with purpose. Look at the work of your hands. You will see fruit emerging where there was once barrenness. When God moves, He transforms ordinary ground into sacred soil. If this message has reached you before that divine day, it means you are standing in a time of spiritual transition. The old season is ending and a new one is forming, but it requires awareness. Many people miss their blessing not because God did not give it, but because they were not awake enough to receive it. God can open a door, but if you are too distracted by your wounds, you might walk past it. He can send favor, but if you are consumed by fear, you might reject it. That is why this message has come to you now, to shake your spirit into alertness, to tell you that the door you have been waiting for is near, and you must not sleep while heaven moves. You may have noticed recently that certain things no longer satisfy your spirit. Conversations that once entertained you now drain you. Environments that once felt comfortable now feel empty. People who once understood you now misunderstand you. Do not fight this change. It is spiritual separation. When God begins to elevate you, He detaches you from what can no longer grow with you. You are not losing people, you are losing limits. You are not being isolated. You are being insulated for divine purpose. The discomfort you feel is not punishment. It is positioning. God is shifting you into alignment with His next instruction. Before the 9th of November, God wants you to cleanse your atmosphere. Remove WHNEH that distracts your spirit. Detach from voices that breed fear, bitterness, and confusion. Make room for His voice because He speaks softly. He does not compete with noise. He whispers, and only those who are still can hear Him clearly. The world is filled with opinions, But you must seek divine instru to be Arnchishan. What is popular is not always purposeful. What is comfortable is not always divine. You must be ready to obey even when you do not understand. Faith is not knowing every detail. Faith is trusting that God's details are perfect even when unseen. The reason God has chosen to reach you now is because He is about to test your readiness. Blessings are not given, they are entrusted. When God entrusts you with a new season, He examines the condition of your heart. Have you learned to forgive? Have you learned to trust when nothing makes sense? Have you learned to remain humble when doors open? Tibar Hise are not small matters. They are the foundation of destiny. God elevates those who are disciplined in spirit. He does not promote those who crave attention. He promotes those who can carry His glory quietly. That is why your path has been different. Your journey harder and your process longer because your destiny carries weight. There are some people who seem to receive things easily, but their blessings fade quickly because they did not have the character to sustain them. You, however, have been prepared in fire. You have been shaped in silence. You have been refined through trials. God WSB part as building your endurance, so that when He releases His favor, you will not crumble under it. You are being made into a vessel that can carry greatness without pride, influence without corruption, and abundance without arrogance. That is why this message is your confirmation. Your preparation was not in vain. As the 9th of November approaches, the spiritual realm grows active around you. God is sending clarity into your confusion. He is replacing anxiety with assurance, chaos with peace, delay with direction. You will begin to notice that you once forced will start flowing, natural, tendiar lie. Conversations that seemed blocked will open. Connections that felt random will reveal purpose. Even your emotions will start aligning with peace. That is how you will know that God is near. He never announces Himself with noise. He confirms His presence with stillness. When your heart grows quiet, and your spirit grows confident, it means His hand is already upon your situation. God does not operate according to human deadlines, but He often uses them to awaken faith. The date you are hearing before the 9th of November is not a limit. It is a reminder. It is a divine checkpoint that says, be prepared before I move. The movement of God requires readiness. If the rain comes and you have not prepared your field, you cannot gather the harvest. That is why you are being told this now, to prepare your field, your heart, your intentions. Align your motives with purity. Cleanse your mind from fear. Speak words of faith, not doubt. Expect the impossible, because God moves where expectation meets belief. Some of you have been living with silent frustration. You have watched others progress while you remain in waiting. You have seen people with less faith achieve what you have prayed for. But what you do not realize is that God has been testing your patience because He is preparing you for permanence. Others may rise fast and fall faster, but when God establishes you, you cannot be moved. You are not being delayed, you are being deepened. Your roots are going deeper because your fruit and DRT will last longer. A tall tree needs deep roots to stand strong against the storm. You have been rooted deep in faith, so that when the winds come, you will not fall. Before the 9th of November, you must also confront your inner fears. Fear blocks faith. Fear tells you that what you see is greater, what God has spoken. But faith tells you that what God has spoken will transform what you see. Do not let fear paralyze your progress. Every time you feel afraid, speak truth to yourself. God is with me. God is guiding me. God is greater than what I face. Fear is the enemy's illusion to make you forget divine reality. Faith is the weapon that destroys that illusion. When you walk with faith, you walk with divine authority. Mountains move not because of your strength, but because of your belief. You are not ordinary. You are not random. You carry a spiritual assignment that requires divine tibars and timing. That is why you could not quit even when you wanted to. That is why, despite all the pain, you still had hope. Hope is not weakness. It is the evidence of divine fire still burning within you. The fact that you are still standing after all that life has thrown at you is proof that God's Han and Debordi has never left you. Many around you fell into bitterness, but you held on to faith. Many gave up on their dreams, but something in you kept saying that something was not human, it was divine. God was whispering endurance into your soul. And now God is saying the wait has not been wasted. Every Isaiah-born Lent season has produced fruit. Every painful night has birthed wisdom. Every closed door has redirected you to destiny. The things that once broke you are now the very things building your strength. You are no longer the person you once were. You have matured in faith, deepened in wisdom, and expand entity are dead in resilience. Now you are ready to handle what others cannot. That is why this message found you before time. Because you are part of the few who are ready. The coming days will bring divine tests disguised as choices. Be careful what you choose. Every choice either moves you closer to God's PL and or further away from it. Not every opportunity is divine. Some doors are traps painted with beauty. That is why you must not rush. Ask God to give you discernment. The closer you are to your breakthrough, the more distractions will appear. But do not fear. God's voice will guide you if your heart remains still. His peace is your compass. Wherever you feel peace, there is His will. Wherever you feel confusion, there is distraction. As this season unfolds, remember, God does not bless arrogance. He blesses humility. He does not reward noise. He rewards consistency. Stay faithful even when it favors unseen. Stay kind, even when unappreciated. Stay obedient, even when misunderstood. God is measuring your heart, not your results. When the right time comes, He will bring everything together in ways that no human effort could achieve. He will place you in rooms your name could not reach. He will align you with people whose paths you could not have crossed on your own. Congratulations. Because if this message reached you before the 9th of November, you are not only seen, you are chosen. Chosen to rise above fear. Chosen to receive divine instruction. Chosen to be a vessel of wisdom and strength and GTH. This message is your awakening call. You are standing at the edge of something sacred. God is ready to show you that the years of struggle were not in vain. They were the preparation for your unveiling. Stay firm, stay faithful, and stay expectant. For when God moves, He does so with perfection, 10%, and your moment of divine perfection is drawing near. When God chooses a moment to reveal His will, no force in existence can prevent it from reaching the one for whom it was intended. So if these words have arrived before the 9th of November, count it as sacred confirmation. You have been summoned into awareness. God is calling you to attention because something in the unseen world is preparing to manifest in your favor. There is a spiritual shift occurring around you, a realignment of paths, energies, and destinies. What once felt stagnant is about to move. What once felt delayed is about to flow. God's timing is about to interrupt your ordinary rhythm. And when divine timing meets divine purpose, transformation becomes inevitable. Understand this clearly. God's communication always precedes His movement. Before He hangs your situation, He awakens your spirit. He never allows a BRBRSing to enter an unprepared heart. That is why this message has reached you before the 9th. It is not a prediction, it is preparation. God is is conditioning your mind to think higher, your faith to believe deeper, and your spirit to see beyond what is visible. He is warning you that what is coming will require spiritual maturity, discernment, and the ability to remain calm in the midst of acceleration. When the flood of change begins, only those who are spiritually rooted will remain standing. Do not misinterpret this season as chaos. It is divine reordering. What feels like disorder is actually God removing what no longer aligns with your purpose, the friendships that suddenly fade, the opportunities that quietly dissolve, the emotions that begin to shift. These are not random. They are evidence that heaven is rearranging your environment. God cannot pour new oil into old vessels. He must empty your surroundings of what is expired so that He can fill you with what is eternal. Let go of what He is taking away. Even if you do not understand why you cannot ascend while clinging to the weight of what was. If this message reached you before that sacred date, it is because you are being entrusted with a new spiritual assignment. The coming days are not just about material change. They are about spiritual elevation. God is calling you into greater responsibility. Responsibility over your thoughts, your words, your energy, and your influence. You've been asking for blessings, but blessings come with accountability. To receive more, you must become more. You cannot carry abundance with a mindset of scarcity. You cannot hold revelation with a heart filled with bitterness. God is cleansing you so that He can use you. He is removing the clutter from your spirit so that His Sibonat Ois can flow through you without distortion. There is something sacred about timing. When God marks a season, everything in creation responds. The air feels different. Opportunities become sensitive to your presence. And even your enemies begin to sense your rising. This is that kind of moment. If your spirit has felt restless lately, it is because you are standing in the threshold between what was and what will be. You are not lost. You are in transition. Transitions are uncomfortable because they demand release before reward. You must let go of the familiar to make room for the divine. Many fail this stage because they fear the unknown more than they trust God's plan. But if you truly believe that God is in control, then even the unknown becomes sacred. Before the 9th of November, practice stillness. The noise of the world is loud right now. Distractions come disguised as urgency. People will try to pull you into conversations that weaken your focus, into emotions that lower your energy, into conflicts that rob your peace. Do not engage. Protect your spiritual atmosphere. Peace is not weakness, it is wisdom. When you stay peaceful, you become a clear channel for divine direction. When your mind is calm, your heart can hear. When your heart can hear, your path becomes clear. The reason this message reached you early is because time is accelerating. What once took months will now happen in days. What once seemed impossible will suddenly align. The energy around you is shifting and heaven is responding to your faith. That is why your awareness is crucial. Do not live carelessly in this sacred window. Watch your words. Watch your thoughts. Watch your associations. Protect what God is doing within you. The world may not understand your silence, your distance, or your newfound defocus, but that is because they cannot perceive the preparation of God. You are being spiritually recalibrated for greatness. You may feel small right now, but remember, God begins greatness in smallness. He hides glory in simplicity. He births power in quiet places. Do not despise where you are. His same hand that lifted the great will lift you too. Stay steady, be consistent, keep showing up in faith. Even when results are invisible, you are walking in divine timing. And when the appointed moment arrives, everything that was once confusing will make sense. Congratulations, because if this message reached you before the 9th of November, You are standing at the edge of manifestation. Your name is being spoken in divine places. The doors you once knocked on are being opened without force. The favor you once prayed for is now seeking you. The same God who carried you through every silent season is about to display His power openly. You will rise not by ambition, but by alignment. You will prosper not by striving, but by surrender. You will be established not by connections, but by divine command. The message you have received is not an accident, it is your awakening. God is calling you to trust deeper, to release faster, and to believe bolder. He is saying, do not doubt what I have spoken. Do not delay what I have begun. Everything in your life is aligning to fulfill divine purpose. What once felt scattered is now forming harmony. Every experience, good or painful, was part of the SA 800 cred design. You are stepping into divine order and no force can reverse it.